time.
It was a good practice sesh.
It definitely was.
Great rehearsal. So, all right, everybody, welcome to the podcast, the first of hopefully many. Our guest today is D. Sten Carlson Jr. Um, he is actually. You want to just give some background to the folks so they know what you're all about?
Yeah. Uh, well, I mean, I'll start with the most important part about why I'm here is because my interaction with you. And Jeremy and we met on advanced ball striking, both interacting on the forums. And then uh, I think Jeremy said, hey, let's have a chat. And it seems like, I don't know, from that moment forward, we just were in sync on what we were working on. And then we got a chance to meet when we were in Colorado. And, I had a lot of experience on the playing side and the caddying side. And we kind of hit it off, teamed up on a couple of projects and uh, just similar thinkers in the world of golf, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
I think
and
so. For those of you guys that don't know, Sten is he's a former professional golfer. He has caddied at some pretty prestigious locations prior to that. He took the Hogan path and he ran into the same brick walls of financing that I did. He had a sponsorship for a little while, but wasn't quite long enough to get any traction. So he ended up going and working for Golf Tech, becoming an instructor later on, and now he is, because his daughter is a hockey player. She's a pretty good hockey player from what I understand. He is now creating a hockey business, which has quite a few synergies with the golf swing. And I think you still teach on the side, right, Sten? Golf.
absolutely.
So
Um,
you want to add a little more to that so people know
well,
kind of.
it's geometry. And I was never a huge fan of math. Of all the math that I studied, which wasn't very much, which is as little as possible, geometry was at least my favorite. It's geometry, it's physics, and it is kind of interesting that both skates and golf, in my opinion, revolve around the geometry. And
It's
the
interesting you
more
say
people,
that with you got both a hockey net to your right and your golf
yeah,
net
yeah,
to your
yeah.
left. So I would imagine the synergy, geometrically speaking, is I don't know, man. You think you can teach the same things in both sports since you're doing both?
Well, fundamentally, yes, but in reality, no, because the the hockey swing is very different in the sense that it uses way more wrist. And so a slap shot is very reminiscent of a golf swing, but the rest of shooting is really not. If you were to shoot a golf ball the way that you would shoot, like use a golf club the way you would use a hockey stick, you'd go like that and you'd hit it with your hands and you'd make this like this. But as an interesting aside, I teach people to shoot, kids to shoot, by telling them that the action of the wrist in the golf swing is the exact opposite on the biometric or biomechanical scale of a hockey shot. So in a
Okay.
hockey shot, I want to put my wrist in full flexion, and then to hit the puck, I want to come out of flexion this way, and I want to take this wrist and go pow like that and straighten that out. In the golf swing, I want to go from full extension through a process that ends up in full flexion at some point. What it does after that is somewhat irrelevant because the ball's already gone. So, um,
Okay. Well, that's great because I think conventional wisdom would say that the bowed left wrist is more important, but I think we've learned over the years that leveraging the golf club kind of actually sets you up for a better range of motion and a more efficient golf swing than trying to control all your angles. And I think that's what
absolutely.
you're getting into when you're talking about geometry. So I'll kind of unleash you here, shut up, and let you do your thing.
Well, I think certainly Bradley Hughes and John Erickson in the 430 line is a change in thinking, and I think for my own process, the moment I gave way to that and I just said, no, the club has to be here on delivery. I have to be in some kind of position like this.
So in my mind, I call it the forearm plane,
Yeah,
because down the line the shaft matches your forearm. But also, I've learned that the right forearm is the swing plane,
yeah,
um, from a more secretive perspective. So I've
yeah,
started calling it the forearm plane. But I noticed something when you were setting up there is the club was at a 90-degree angle to your spine.
yeah. Here.
So yeah, just talking geometry, like why is that so important?
Well, so to me, we have only two options. And one option is to spin in a circle, and the other option is to use leverage. And when we spin in a circle, what we do, unfortunately, is we take this inherently unstable structure, which is a shaft with an axis, and the mass is off the axis, and it wants to flip over constantly. Well, it's not wrong to flip the club over. It just means that you're going to be inaccurate because you're always adding this flip over. And so it could be shut, it could be open, and you can't play golf from a variable club face. You have to play golf from a known club face. Doesn't matter what it is, because I can alter my path in order to react to that face.
Yeah.
But I have to know what my face is at all times,
Would you say
right?
that when you were at Golf Tech that their teaching instruction, it was kind of probably more modern? Would you say there was a lot of club face rotation, a lot of flipping in that action, a lot of timing?
Yes. Well, there has to be, right? Because in order to teach what we teach, you have to understand geometry. So you have to tell somebody, listen, the club has to do these certain things. And then there's a variety of different ways that you can do it. But the reality is that every great ball striker throughout history, even the modern guys, are here. They're just maybe a little more here, right?
Well, I think
They're
that has a lot.
still
Yeah.
not there, right? They're not doing this, right?
Well, I think that
And
has a
so
lot to do with the technology. The shafts are much droopier than they used to be, and
I
I
definitely think that plays into it for sure.
so you can
Um,
be steeper, and I think they're by design. They want amateur players to be able to swing the golf club easier. So by design, I think they've been developed that way on purpose.
yeah. Well, you said it in one of your videos on lie angles. It was the lie angle 2.0 video. Uh, that is exactly right. It's how the door is going to hinge, right? And I think about it in a similar fashion, but I think about the golf club and the stability of the golf club. The most stable a golf club could be would be illegal, which would be no lie angle like a baseball bat or a cricket bat, right? The problem is that it's on the ground. So how are you going to swing something with no lie angle? Well, you can't. That's why games where they have no lie angle, they're up here like a baseball player or a cricket player. Now, cricket players go like this, right? So they do it even a little differently. But I can tell you one thing as an anecdote. I watched a kid who never played golf, but was like an elite cricket player, learn to play golf in one summer under my tutelage. And I've never seen a human being smash a golf ball like that in my life. He just had the most incredible move I've ever seen. He could hit it so far, but he could also hit it like 90 yards offline into the clubhouse and into, Dr. Camisa's family and
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm
all kinds of,
sure you have to develop a lot more core and lower body like strength and stability and speed using a cricket motion because you can't leverage the cricket stick like you can a golf club with your upper body.
Well, yes, and also inaccuracy is really important, if that makes sense. What I want to do, same in baseball. What I want to do in baseball is I want to be able to stand up here and hit like this opposite field because I'm going to make millions and millions of dollars if I can do that in the major leagues.
Right.
Opposite field, hitting for power, right? Hitting opposite field is how you win games. You don't win it by hitting it straight over top of the pitcher and the second baseman.
Right.
But
And
that's what you need to do in golf, right?
that's kind of what
Uh,
Aaron Judge makes his living off of, and
that's right.
he's a big hitter man teaching guy, which
Yeah,
I think hitter man teaches a lot of what we do, the leveraged.
absolutely. Right
Um,
there.
that's right. You have to be, and I don't think people understand that when you're in that position, you're actually biomechanically in a position of immense power,
Yes.
immense leverage.
Leverage. Yes. What I was getting at, to thank you for getting me back on track, but I got to choose between rotation, which loses the club face, which is a very ABS Bradley Hughes term. We lose control of it, and it's not wrong. And you can play great golf losing control of the club face. You're just subject to timing and sort of this feeling of like, how much am I letting the club go today, and what's my heart rate doing? and I think one of the things that attracted me most to this was John saying, once you learn this, the more nervous you are, the tighter you will get, the more pressure you will exert in the arms to crash through that golf ball.
So when you say John, you're talking about John Erickson?
Yeah.
Lag
and
pressure.
That was lag, yeah. And then Bradley echoes that with packing the arms in, right?
Right.
And feeling like we're going from a position of width to a position of no width, right? And this is, I mean, right here. You think about how much pressure can that lever system right there generate. Well, if you add your strong arm into it, usually your right arm, if you're a right-hander, now how much pressure can I exert, right?
Well, that was Hogan's 3 right hands right there.
Yeah.
And it's again, it's counterintuitive because it's not what you think.
Right. It's a bicep curl. If I had 3 right hands, I could sit here and lift a 100-pound dumbbell, which means I could swing a sledgehammer like that, but I don't. And what's incredible to me is how much force is actually generated from a golf swing. And many of my students, one in particular, always says to me, this is a workout. This isn't some like, golf swing where I'm like, yay, and then, whoa, there we go. No, this is a lot of work. And you have to build pressure, and you have to get comfortable with feeling a lot of pressure.
But once you build it, tell me it's not the most effortless, most efficient power structure you've ever played with.
Well, because I never lose the club face. That's the thing. There's no rotation. And when you see it on video, you're sitting here watching me do it, right? You'll see rotation but I'm not moving my body.
Right.
I'm not turning my hips. I'm not firing my hips. I'm not shifting my weight. I'm not asking my body to do anything except support the action of this lever system coming back on the body, which is the feet coming together, the foot slide. All of that is a reaction to this inward.
Well, I would say that's what the best golfers do. Like Scotty Scheffler is a great example of that in the modern game. Is they're reacting to the inertia of the club head and the leverage that they've created. Scotty being 6'5", he could probably create a lot more leverage if he wanted to, but the golf clubs are so upright that I feel like he's actually even hamstrung at 6'4", 6'5", whereas guys that play flatter lie angles can generate a lot more leverage. And a great example of that would be like probably a Ricky Fowler, who when he was younger was one of the longest in the game. But you saw a lot of the same foot action in both of their golf swings. Yes, especially after he worked with Butch Harmon. Absolutely.
Certainly after that. Which obviously Butch is from an old school line, and you can see 2000 Tiger, and you can see what he was teaching Tiger, and it's a lot of the same stuff. And then you get, somebody on TV criticizing him for going down. Then we pull up one of the videos of Hogan, and they got Hogan's down again. It's like, holy crap. How do you get that far down? And you and I have a thing that we talk about a lot, which is I don't think you need to do that anymore because the golf ball and the technology doesn't require it. I don't think if they've never played a Bellata ball, and they've never played an old school blade club and persimmon heads, they have no idea what it felt like. And Lee Trevino said it best. The art was to be able to fully compress a golf ball without over compressing it steeply, because it would spin too much and balloon on you. The ball doesn't do that anymore. That's to your point earlier, that the ball is reacting in a different way. And so the necessity of being like Hogan fully is diminished, but the pursuit of it is what we're all about. Why don't you? Because it doesn't matter.
Tell people how to find you, because I think what people need to understand is the reason why we're doing this is because I don't give personal lessons anymore. I'm too busy still trying to compete. but you do, and you live in Austin, Texas. You can give
I do.
lessons year round, and you've been doing it for quite a few successful amateurs in the Austin area. So that have really grown to enjoy the way that we teach the golf swing. Um,
Absolutely.
so how do people find you? How do they,
Yeah.
if they want personal lessons, what would they do?
Well, I have a channel there. I think you'll post the link for the leverage strike.
Yeah, you'll be able to
I
find
don't
it in the
have,
description. I'll put up a little visual here for folks too.
cool. I don't have a whole lot of content, certainly like yours. I'm sort of fledgling in that capacity,
Well, I
but
think you enjoy the teaching one-on-one a lot more than I do. I
oh, I
think
do. Yeah.
making videos is fun for me, whereas you're an instructor, man. You love to be in the mix with a student.
Right. Right. And I have a spot in my backyard. So come back here, put some music on. Normally I would, get the blower out. But like I said, we had that big windstorm and come and hang out and we'll talk golf and we'll talk geometry and we'll blow your mind, get you